economy is that over the last 25 years, the middle class has been in decline. We now have more people living in poverty than at any time in the history of the United States, and almost all of the new wealth in this country is going to the top 1/10 of 1%. A rigged economy is when today the top 1/10 of 1% now owns almost as much wealth as the bottom 90%. A rigged economy is when the 20 wealthiest people in this country, 20 people, now own more wealth than the bottom half of America, 150 million people. Rigged economy is when one family, the Walton family, owns more wealth than the bottom 42% of the American people. And here's what is especially nauseating about that. And that is the Walton family that owns Walmart pays their workers wages that are so low that many of those workers are forced to go on food stamps and Medicaid. You know who pays higher taxes for those food stamps and Medicaid? A rigged economy is when the working class of this country is subsidizing the wealthiest family in this country. And I say to the Walton family, get off of welfare, pay your workers. Is when, despite a major increase in technology and worker productivity, we have families all over this country where mom is working 40 hours a week, dad is working 40 hours a week, the kids are working, and people still are not earning enough income to pay the bills. That's a rigged economy. A rigged is when we have seen in recent years a major increase in the number of millionaires and billionaires in this country, while at the same time we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. A rigged economy is when people are working 2 or 3 jobs, and 58% of all new income goes to the top 1%. You ready for a radical idea? Together, we are going to create an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. And the largest corporations who are doing extraordinarily well, that yes, they are going to start paying their fair share of taxes. And we are going to be loud and clear in stating that if you work 40 hours or 50 hours a week in this country, you will not be living in poverty. To a living wage. And when we talk about fair wages, I know that every man here will stand with the women. And ending the disgrace of women making 79 cents on the dollar. Together, we are going going to bring pay equity to this country. Once a month, you're going to see on the front pages a report from the federal government talking about the unemployment rate. And what you see on the front page, it says that nationally unemployment is 5%. Anybody believe that? No! You're right. Because there's another report that doesn't make the front pages, and that includes people who have given up looking for work and people who are working part-time when they want full-time jobs.
Right.
If you add that together, real unemployment in this country is close to 10%. And then on top of that, in inner cities and in rural communities, you got unemployment rates much, much higher than that.
80%.
That is why, together, we are going to develop a massive federal jobs program to put people. There was once a time in America where we had the strongest infrastructure in the world, where we had the best roads and bridges and water systems and wastewater plants and rail and airports and levees and dams. That is no longer the case. Our infrastructure in many, many parts of this country is crumbling. We can put 13 million Americans back to work at good wages by rebuilding that infrastructure. Today, we should be hiring teachers, not firing teachers. Hundreds of thousands of well-trained, well-paid child care workers. Today we should be hiring more doctors, more nurses, more medical When we talk about why the middle class of this country has been in decline for 25 years, one of the reasons are the disastrous trade policies that corporate America has pushed on this country. It is not acceptable to me that since 2001, 60,000 factories in this country have shut down. It is not acceptable to me that week after week, we read about factories being shut down and going to China. Our message to corporate America is, if you want us to buy your products, you better start manufacturing those products. Just about ending a corrupt campaign finance system and a rigged economy. It is about dealing with a criminal justice system that is broken. It is a national disgrace that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. We are spending $80 billion a year to lock up 2.2 million Americans, disproportionately African American, Latino, and Native Americans. I want this country to have the best educated population, not all people. Inner cities throughout this country and in rural communities, you have youth unemployment rates of 30, 40, 50%.
That's right.
And when you have kids hanging around, not in school, not working, bad things happen. My view is that we should invest in jobs and education for our young people, not in jails and incarceration. Doing important work and earning good wages. I want to see our young people getting the education that they need. I do not want to see our young people rotting away in jail cells. And when we talk about criminal justice reform, we also have to look at local police departments all across this country.
Yes.
I was the mayor of Burlington, Vermont. Anybody here in Vermont? I was the mayor for 8 years, and I worked closely with the police department there, and I worked with police officers all over this country. The average police officer is honest, hardworking, and has a very difficult job. Like any other public official, if a police officer breaks the law, that officer must be held accountable. In America, we must demilitarize local police. Like occupying armies. In America, we have got to make local police departments reflect the diversity of the communities they serve. We need a police culture across this country which says that lethal force, the killing of somebody, is the last response, not the first response. We need to end corporate ownership of prisons and detention. We need to rethink the so-called war on drugs.
Yes.
Many people don't notice that over the last 30 years, millions of Americans have received police records which stay with them for their whole lives because of possession of marijuana. If you are a 19-year-old kid going out and looking for a job, you got a police record, that makes it harder to get that job. A lot of lives have been ruined because of those police records.
Legalize burning!
Today, as part of the Federal Controlled Substance Act, marijuana is listed as a Schedule 1 drug. Basically, right alongside of heroin. Elected president, we will take marijuana out of. The decision about whether to legalize marijuana or not is a state decision. You've got a proposition on the ballot in November. I personally think that proposition of legalizing marijuana makes sense. When we talk about drugs, let us also be very clear. And that is that we have an epidemic and a crisis in this country in terms of opiate and heroin addiction.
Yeah!
In my state and in New England and all across this country, we are seeing incredible large numbers of people becoming addicted, and every single day people are dying of overdose. Now, in my view, if we are going to be effective in addressing this crisis, we have got to look at substance abuse and addiction as a health issue. More enforcement understand that as well. And what that means is that we need a revolution in this country in mental health. There are people who are addicted, who want to fight that addiction, but they cannot get the help they need. There are people in this country above and beyond addiction who are dealing with suicidal tendencies and, in fact, homicidal tendencies. We need to make sure those people get the treatment they need when they need it. Is listening to the American people and not just the wealthy campaign contributors. All over this country, we see Republican senators and congressmen and governors talk about Republican family values. You know and I know what Republican family values are.
No value.
What Republican family values are, I'm telling every woman here tonight and every woman in America that she does not have the right to control her own body. What Republican family values are is telling our gay brothers and sisters they do not have the right to get married. Disagree. In 6 days, my wife Cenk and I will have been married 28 years. I'm in very deep trouble if I forget that anniversary. If you come to one of my rallies on the 28th, please remind me. Jamie and I, we believe in family values, but not Republican family values.